Okay, I'm almost there. Alrighty. Okay, I'm almost there. No one here yet, but that's okay. Hey, Amanda. So far it looks like you're the only one here. Can't really tell if other people are watching or not. Hopefully others will tune in. If anyone else is here, please say so. Because I can't tell if anybody else is here. Oh, hey, Rick and Manu. Good to see you guys here. So how are you guys doing today? I'm tired. Memories of the past are making it tough to sleep. But I'm trying my hardest to push through it. Hey, Mike. Good to see you here, too. It's been a while. I do have some exciting news to share once there are more people here. I'm pretty tired, like I mentioned, because my sleep has been less than best. So I don't feel like repeating myself a bunch. Rick, that sounds like a good day. Yeah, Amanda, I think you should make Brian pick up some antihistamines on his way home. Because that's pretty miserable. Yeah, Mike, I'm really having a hard time emotionally because of the calendar dates. Some things I have a terrible memory. Like, if I'm sent to do errands, unless I have a list, I will forget stuff. But calendar dates and the significance of those dates is one area where I have almost a perfect memory. And as it gets closer to the would-be 2-year anniversary between me and my ex, it's getting harder. So I'm having a harder time, but I'm trying my best to stay distracted with doing things I enjoy. But at night when I lay my head down on my pillow, it's really hard to keep my mind busy so it doesn't go there. But you guys who have been through real bad heartache, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm not choosing to let it drag me down. It's just really hard to fight to get back up again. Manu, I have tried a variant of that where I just sit and I try to empty my mind of all thoughts and just pray that God would help me clear my mind of all things that hurt. It's not always easy, though. Like I said, I want to share the news with you guys, but I would like to wait till more people are here. Because I am pretty mentally tired and physically. And I don't have to repeat myself a dozen times. But since it looks like 8 of you guys are here, I'll just say it. Amanda already knows, but I've gotten a one-time modeling gig set up. The date is to be determined, but I'm going to do a photo shoot and possible video shoot with a local cage fighting team. Their team member who's trying really hard to get their team off the ground and more renowned, he contacted me asking if I would be willing to dress up as Harley Quinn and take pictures with the team. Because people love that kind of crazy, and as you guys know, I'm good at acting that kind of crazy. And at first I had some concern about the legitimacy of it, but with some research and asking a lot of questions that my mom helped me come up with, seems like a legit gig. And I'm gonna have my mom, my brother, and my best friend, Okie Dokie Bro, go with me. So I won't be alone going to a photo shoot. So I'm excited. I'll find out when it will be done after the guy who contacted me has set up a time when all his teammates can be there. And then he'll let me know. So I'm excited. I've never modeled for anyone before. So to get a paid gig to act the way I enjoy acting, I'm pretty excited. Glad to see you here, Music. Sorry your connection keeps dropping. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but I am excited. It should be fun. My mom, who does work with CASA, court-appointed special advocates for foster kids, she took multiple classes on child and adult human trafficking. So she's aware of all the dark stuff that happens behind the scenes in some places. So I figure having her with me would be a really effective way to spot any red flags. Plus, as my mom, she feels better about it knowing that she'll be there with me. And I'll have my brother and my buddy with me too, so should be safe, should be good. It'll be fun. Oh, music? Yeah, that's a bummer. Technology can be great when it works, but it's awful when it doesn't. I've seen that you've uploaded a bunch of videos lately, Music, but with how things are going here, I haven't had much of a chance to watch them, but I plan on it. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Rick, I know the feeling. But I'm just excited about this opportunity because I don't know how far it could take me. Oh, music. Yeah, that's... I have the utmost respect for people who fight to end that. Human trafficking is just horrible. And unfortunately, a majority of people don't know that it still continues on. I think the average person, if they hear human trafficking, they think of the olden days with the slave trade. They don't think it's still happening today. And it saddens me. If I had it my way, I would do a worldwide broadcast with my mom to open the eyes of people who either don't realize it's going on or they just deny it. I know a lot of people have the tendency to deny if they hear something awful. Like, oh, that's too awful to be real. That's not really happening. And that kind of ignorance is one reason why it still continues. Alrighty, Mike. But yeah, I pray for the day when it all ends to come soon. But at first, when I got contacted about the possible gig, I was like, I'm gonna do research on it and talk to my mom about it first. A small bit of me wanted to just say, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then later tell Mom, oh, I'm gonna go do a photo shoot in Tulare, bye. But thankfully only a little bit of me wanted to do that, and most of me wanted her input. There have been a couple instances in my life where I thought, oh, I got this. I could deal with this on my own. You know, I'm a grown-up. And it almost got me into trouble. So, I greatly value my mom's input, even if it turns out to be input that I don't like. But I would rather face an unpleasant and disappointing fact than to have smoke blown my way and then get in trouble later. But yeah, human trafficking happens everywhere, even in Tulare County. You know, a lot of people have gotten trapped in it. And with my mom's education on the matter, she knows that a lot of it starts out with innocent modeling gigs. They'll ask for some pictures and have you sign paperwork, and it'll seem totally fine. But with each progressive photo shoot or whatnot, more and more demands will be made. The envelope gets pushed a little further each time.
I'll be back in a little bit, between 1 and 2 hours.
Alright, love you.
Love you too.
My mom's running to go Costco shopping. But, she knows that a lot of dark crap happens. And I don't want to be one that gets sucked into that. So that's why I immediately told her about it, first thing. And I talked to some friends about it too, asking their input. I showed them screenshots of the messages between me and the person who offered me the gig. The consensus was divided. Half were like, oh, go for it. Do it. It'll be fun. And it's money. The other half were like, that sounds a little weird. Make sure you have several people with you. You know, I'm the type of person that doesn't make major or even semi-important choices by myself. I like to get a consensus with people who I trust. Because usually, if your support group is unanimous in whether an idea is good or bad, they're usually right. But if it's divided, then you got to really deeply think about whatever idea you're considering. And since the consensus was divided in my case, I thought about it for a long time. I asked more questions today that were written up with help from my mom, and the person answered them to my satisfaction. So I'm going to go for it. And like I said, I will have people with me, so I won't just be going by myself. And of course not, Rick. I would never do that. I'm going to be in my full Harley getup, so that'll be fun. Oh wow, music. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, That would make it easier. But yeah, guys, pray for Amanda's home inspection. She is nervous about it. She worked her butt off getting the house clean. So I'm not worried about it. But prayers that her mind would be at ease and that it will go well are appreciated. Rick, that's very sweet. But music, the person who found me was mutual friends with 2 of my guy friends. And I figure the 2 guy friends that this person is mutual friends with are good and trustworthy. So I'll talk about it with this person. Found me on Facebook. And I looked at his page, and he added me to the closed group for their cage fighting team. So it all looks pretty legit to me. And I added Okie Dokie Bro to that page too, so that he could get a good look at it. He was thinking it seemed pretty fishy, but he'll be happy to go with me just to make sure that I'm going to be safe and not taken advantage of in any way. So with my mom, brother, and my buddy there, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a lot of fun, and I'll get paid for it too. And it was really helpful because he did a Google search on what amount of pay I should expect. And the search he did indicated that models from Craigslist, Model Mayhem, or other modeling venues will expect anywhere from $50 to $100 per hour, plus expenses. And they may want a minimum amount to make the gig worthwhile, such as $200 minimum or a booking fee of $100. And so with that information in mind, I have a range which I expect to be paid. Since it's my first time being paid to model, I'm going to stick with the lower end, just because that's fair. But it just feels good to have a little more preparation for it. All I have to do on my end now is fish out my costume pieces that are unfortunately in Mount Doom right there. That's what I call it. Alrighty, Rick. No problem. But yeah, I'm excited. I asked my cousin. She was in roller derby. Very competitive physical sport. She also was one who took Taekwondo. So I trust her judgment, and she says go for it. Just bring people with me. And so I'm really excited because this is something totally new for me. And I get nervous about new things, but I get nervously excited. And this one looks promising. Hey, Karen and Jetta, good to see you guys. Hi, Zeke. Good to see you here too, man. But yeah, guys, I straightened my hair. I think this is only the second time you guys have seen my hair straightened. But I re-dyed my colors too, so they're a little more vibrant. My best friend Rachel gave me a hair straightening brush from Walmart. And the funny thing is, I had considered buying it for myself. So when she gave it to me for my birthday, I'm like, holy crap, I was about to buy this. Thank you. And it works, so I'm happy. Yeah, music, I will definitely share the photos with you guys. One of the questions that my mom typed up is, will I get a copy of the photos, and will I have the right to... Oh, thank you. My dad just brought me cherry Coke, one of my favorite drinks. Oh, that's good. And anyways, a couple of the questions were, will I get copies of the photos? Do I have the right to retract permission for them to use the photos if I don't like them? And will there be any specific poses asked of me? The guy said, I'm totally in control of what I'm willing to do. And if something makes me uncomfortable, I don't have to do it. And I will get copies of the photos and any videos that I choose to do. So I'm excited. It'll be fun. And it'll be a way to earn money. I still haven't gotten any hits on my eBay store. So I'm kind of bummed out. But we'll see what happens with that. Thank you, Karen. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm really liking having shorter layers everywhere because it's less hair to mess with. And since I got my hair cut a few weeks ago, all I have to do to keep it detangled at night is just put it in a ponytail. And that is a whole new world of ease for me. If my hair was curly, I could not sleep with it down because I would wake up in horrible tangles. But since I straightened it, I got to sleep with it fully down, which helped me relax more. Jetta, that's funny. Yeah, that's not fun. Yes, Amanda has claimed to the Bath & Body Works stuff that I'm selling on my eBay page, but if any of you watching are a size 4 to 6 woman, or you know someone in that size, please buy the dresses I'm selling. They are gently worn, and I just don't have room for them anymore. And I've outgrown my taste for those specific dresses I'm selling. And I'm not much of a dress girl anymore. So please visit my eBay store if you don't mind. I will post a link to it in the video description. That way, if you guys are interested, you can check that out. I would appreciate it. It's just really tough when you run out of closet space and money. And the best way to combat that is to sell the clothes that are in your closet. And my experience with eBay as a seller is that it can take a while, but it costs next to nothing to sell on here. So it's not like I'm losing out on anything, but I'm an impatient person. Amanda can completely vouch for that. I'm the type of person that I'll buy something online, and then I'll be checking the shipping status every hour until I know it's being sold. Or sent, I mean. So, I gotta work on the patience thing. But it's fun to try new things. Alright, my link to my eBay store is in the description now. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and look. Yeah, cherry Coke is so good. Amanda. Yeah, Karen, it's nice when you have your hair freshly cut. It feels like my head is lighter. So if I put my hair way up high, I won't get the headache that I usually get if my hair is up high. As you guys can see, my hair is very thick. Even though I had thinning shears used on it a little bit and shorter layers everywhere. But with this hair, I can do high ponytails, and when I do my pigtails for the photo shoot, that should be very painless. So I'm excited. Oh, music, I'm sorry that your husband is sick. That's pretty miserable. Usually, in my experience, anything with peppermint and ginger is good for any gut discomfort. I take peppermint oil extract capsules called IB Guard, and I take 1 capsule a day with dinner, and it's really helped my IBS get under control. So if any of you guys have IBS that's flaring up all the time, I recommend you try it. It is not cheap, unfortunately, but it's not super expensive either. At least where I live, it's only sold in, well, I'm brain farting really bad right now. Rite Aid. And they're by the gut health supplements. Jetty, you're funny. Oh, music, I'm sorry for that. I recommend you try IB Guard. I can send a link to show you guys what it looks like. I'll post that in the description as well. My IBS gets worse when I'm emotionally in distress or overly stressed out. And with it nearing the time of year when I first met my ex, and then the year after I was still with him, it's really hard. I don't know if it seems like I talk about it too much or very little at all. I'm not very good at gauging that for myself, but February 9th is going to be a really, really hard day for me. Because like I mentioned earlier in the video, that will mark my would-be 2-year anniversary with him. So I'm not happy about that. And then April 3rd will mark a year since he left. So as it gets closer to that time of year, it's harder for me. I physically feel weighed down. And I'm trying to not let it control me. I'm trying not to let that rule my life. And I'm trying not to focus on that and give it so much attention. But when you truly love someone and you're in a relationship with them for over a year, planning marriage almost the whole time, it's really hard to let go. And I'm fighting my hardest to let go. And I've done everything that I know to do. Deleting all photos of us together. And trying to stay distracted as much as I possibly can. But sometimes you can't help it. And so I could use prayers for that to get better. Because it just really hurts. I miss who I thought he was when he was good to me. I miss having him as my best friend who I could talk to about everything. But I don't know him anymore. And I wonder if I ever truly did. So prayers for that to get better would be greatly appreciated. We were super close, and my mom made a list of questions for us to answer together to see if our life goals and beliefs were aligned well enough that a marriage would work. And there were questions like, what bank will you use? What church will you go to? How many children do you want to adopt? How do you want to go about the adoption process? What kind of pets do you want? How many do you want? Are you willing to relocate if he gets a job that's better out of state? What kind of punishments will you use if your children disobey? All that stuff. And we had the same answers for every question. Every question. And so I had every sign of it being meant to be and an ideal match. And all we were waiting on was him to get a better job that would be able to take care of us both. But unfortunately, he got lazy in job hunting. He didn't apply himself as hard as he needed to actually get results. And then when his meager job hunting efforts didn't pan out, he got more stressed out. And instead of that being a push to work harder, he let it push him back into not trying anymore. And then, music, thank you for stopping by. I hope you and your husband feel better. I hope you have a good day too. Thank you, Karen and Jetta and Amanda. But yeah, he stopped trying with the job hunt. And the stress of knowing he wasn't living the way he should got to him. And instead of that pushing him to work harder, he just gave up. And then the stress of knowing he was doing nothing overtook him because he allowed it to. And eventually he let it affect how he treated me. He was more hurtful, more selfish, and would just say and do things without thinking how they would affect me. And then when I would bring it to his attention how he hurt me, he would get upset with me and act like I was just complaining and nitpicking. I realize now that that was a form of emotional abuse and I should not have tolerated that, but I truly loved him and I was praying that this was just a phase that he would grow out of and that we would be back to how it was at first. But that never happened. Alright, Karen. It just really hurts. 2 weeks into dating him, I knew I loved him. And over time, that love just grew. And 2 weeks in, he said he loved me too. A month into it, we were sure we were going to end up married down the road. So for most of our relationship, we were certain we were going to marry as soon as he did what it would take to allow it to happen. And in last December, not 2016, but the 15th. No, wait. I can't even think right now. Yeah, in December of 2015, he started to be more hurtful. He would say and do things that would have a negative effect on me. And after he had left me on April 3rd, we had a couple of more talks about it all. And each talk he got meaner, saying things like, we were never meant to be. We were never a good fit. We never will be a good fit. And it was all a mistake. And he'll never be what I need. And there were mistakes made on both sides. I don't deny that. But I'm the type that if I know I'm in the wrong, I will apologize to whoever I hurt. I will say, I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry for how it affected you. What can I do now to make it better? Any proper apology has those 3 parts to it. And I tried my hardest to do that whenever I knew I messed up. Every time I tried. But he didn't. He would find a way to beat around the bush instead of outright saying, "I'm sorry." And it's just very painful. If he were to come back asking my forgiveness and to start again, there would be a ton of prerequisites that he would have to meet before I would even heavily think about it. But he made it clear he doesn't see us ever getting back together, so I don't see that happening. He's even gone so far as to block me on Facebook and Instagram, so I can't have any knowledge of how he's doing. He even blocked me on his phone. There were a couple of times that I got weird texts from him after the breakup. And after Googling, I realized it was the app that you send out if you're in trouble. I think it's SOS or something like that. You push a specific set of buttons. Excuse me. And on your emergency contact list, it will find those people on that list and it will send them a 5-second audio clip of what's going on around the person who sent out the SOS. And it'll send a front camera picture and a backward facing camera picture and a link to Google Maps to go to the location where the person is. I didn't know about that app, so when I got that SOS text from him, I was like, what is this? What's he doing? I don't understand. And I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. And when I tried to text him, I guess since he had me blocked, my text never went through. But somehow it still accessed my info to send it out to me. So I texted his mom. Later on, I found out what was going on, and it set me back. This was last year around summertime. Then it happened again, about a month or 2 later. But instead of the pictures, the audio, and the link, it just had the phrase, "I need help," with the map link. And I sent another text out to him saying, "What are you doing?" But since he had me blocked, didn't go through, so I texted his mom again. And to avoid that ever happening to me a 3rd time, I blocked him on my phone. But it just kills me how you go from friends to best friends who talk about everything, to dating, to planning a married future together, and then you turn it all around and act like it was all a mistake, and acting like the other person is the one to blame. I was willing to change things about myself that I knew were not conducive to making everyone happy. And by that, I mean I was willing to change the negative aspects of myself to make it better. I really was. And I'm going to shut my door really quick. I was willing to pay out of my own pocket for us to go to a Christian couples counselor to fix our relationship. And I was willing to pay out of my own pocket for a couple's devotional to do together. Because he was saying the closer he gets to me, the farther he feels from God. And all this. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And he just kept saying it won't work, it won't fix anything. It's pointless. And I'm just torn up about it, guys. I just need a lot of prayers and encouragement that this pain will not be this strong forever. Because it feels like it's never going to end at this point. Even though logically I know it will get better, it doesn't feel like it. Oh, Amanda, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. I really don't know what to say about that. But, I have the SOS app on my phone. And I have the contacts set to my parents, my brother, and Hannah. But I just don't know why I was on my ex's contact list. It really hurt. I don't remember how much I told you guys, but went to a Christmas party at a mutual friend's house, and I saw my ex there. He looked worn out in comparison to when I saw him months before. His face looked a little thinner, his beard was more scraggly, unkempt. He just looked worn out, not as happy, but he was smiling a lot. So I don't know what he's feeling or thinking, or if I even cross his mind anymore. But he crosses mine all the time, and I wish I could stop. I wish I could get Trump in my head to build a wall to prevent my ex from occupying so much of my thoughts. Oh, Amanda, I'm so sorry about that. We'll have to talk one-on-one about that later, hon. Jetta, no, he's not the type to do drugs. He's a man-child, still living with his mom and stepdad. As far as I know, still only working 2 part-time jobs, making just enough to keep his car, but not enough to move out and actually be a grown-up. And he's 26 and a half now. So he's been off of his dad's insurance for a while. I don't know anything else about how he's doing, because like I said, he's got me blocked on all media. And I'm not gonna ask our mutual friends about him, because I realize it's not my business. And I'm just trying to believe that God knows what's happening. And that God will use whatever he's dealing with to spur him on into living the way he should be. I just pray that happens sooner than later for his own sake. When you truly love someone, even if they do you a horrible wrong, love doesn't give way to hate if it's real. Even though I know I'll most likely never talk to him again, I still want to have him live the best life he can. And I know he's not living that life right now. I don't hate him, I couldn't, even after all that's happened. My faith in God is shaken right now. I'm not gonna act like I'm this perfectly put together Christian who has everything in a line, all my ducks in a row. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm struggling right now. Struggling with why. Why did I have to find him? Why did I not pay more attention to the red flags? Why did none of his friends warn me when they knew about his personality type to be lazy? Why didn't I stand up for myself more when he was emotionally hurting me? All those whys are what haunt me. After the breakup and I talked to his friends, they all said pretty much the same thing. They were kind of surprised it happened, but not really, because they know he's a lazy person. He has no ambition, no drive to get farther in life. He's content where he's at. And that's why his first girlfriend, who happened to be my first best friend, left. He had no ambition, no drive to advance in life. And I wish his friends would have warned me, because I was starting to get close to them as I was getting closer to him. And it really hurt to have them tell me this after and not before. And I just don't get it. Yeah, Jetta, that sounds about right. I've talked to a bunch of people about this just to help myself make sense of it. And everyone is in agreement that he was good to me when he was good to me because it was easy to be good to me. But when life got harder, he realized reality was knocking on his door. And instead of opening the door and dealing with it, he locked the door and tried to ignore it until it busted down the door and he was overwhelmed. I don't know what's worse, honestly. Knowing that I still love him even though I know he shouldn't cross my mind anymore. Or realizing that if I had made a few different choices, I would be in a totally different life situation. I have a lot of regrets about it. But I try not to focus on those too much because I know what's in the past is done with and you can't change it. There are no time machines. So I'm trying to just move forward, but it's really hard right now. I still love him. I miss who I thought he was. And I just pray that God will wake him up and allow what it'll take to get him to start doing what he needs to do to live a better life for himself and for those that have to deal with him. Yeah, Jetta, that's true. I hate to be a downer, and I feel like this live stream has mostly been down. But I just needed to get that out. And I wanted to be honest with you guys about how I'm doing. Because I know you guys care enough to want to know the truth. And you want to know how you can help me, and this is how I'm doing. I need prayer support, I need encouragement, and prayers for him. It hurt to see him looking so worn out a month ago. It really does. I'm not the type of person to hate those who hurt me. I saw this post, and basically the idea of it is, if you're asking why It's because there are terrible people, and terrible people do terrible things. If you're beating yourself up trying to understand, that just means that you're not one of those terrible people capable of doing those terrible things. And I've never been one to break a promise to someone. If I tell you I am here to stay in your life as long as you allow me, I mean it. Only a major act of betrayal would cause me to walk away. And so for someone to do that to me, I just don't understand how it's possible. I was willing to do whatever possible to fix us, but he wasn't. And it really hurts. I have deep-seated abandonment issues, as some of you guys already know. I've had many close friends who I loved like family, but there were times when I would have 1 or 2 bad days, and that would be it. They'd be done with me, and that's it. So I'm scared to form attachments to people. And when I was getting to know my ex, I told him all about that. And he promised me he wouldn't go anywhere, and that he would always be in my life. And when we were actually together, he promised I would never lose him, and that he would never go where I couldn't follow. So it really hurts to have that promise broken after it took me 9 months to fully believe it. Amy, I'm venting about my ex and really hurting right now. You can re-watch the live stream once it's done and you can get the full story. But he swore to me that I would never lose him, and that he would never go where I couldn't follow. And I believed him. It took me the better part of 9 months to fully believe that. Because so many people had said that to me, but they didn't mean it. And so I was thinking, why should I think the situation is any different? But after enough time, I grew to believe it. And then to have it taken back the way it was, to where I can't even make small talk with him ever again. It's the deepest abandonment and betrayal I've ever faced in my life. And I faced a lot. So at this point, I'm done with all notions of romantic love. Because I know I gave myself completely to him. I was willing to do whatever I could to fix us and make us last. And for me to reach that point with someone, it takes a long time. Because I've been burned before in other types of relationships. So, as far as I've decided right now, I'm not going to date again. I'm not going to date again. Because how am I supposed to know the next person won't do that to me too? But that's enough about all that. Just please pray for me that I would heal and that the memories would stop hitting me like flies in my face. That's what I'm dealing with. That's the hardest right now. Remembering how it was last year at this point and the year prior. Because at both points we were very, very close. And yes, at this point last year he was more hurtful, but 2/3 of the time it was good. And 1/3 of the time it was bad. So I'm just really struggling right now. But other than that, I'm doing alright. I'm almost up to 415 subscribers now, so that feels pretty awesome. And Ronaldo and Amy, since you guys just tuned in, and Mike also, I've got a modeling gig set up. I don't know the time yet, but I'm basically going to be posing with teammates from a cage fighting team. The guy who is the head of it, he found me on Facebook and he saw my Harley Quinn pictures and he really liked them. And he said that it would be great if I could get in that costume and pose with his team. I asked a lot of questions with my mom's advisement, and his answers were good enough for me. I'm just waiting to find out when it will happen. But I'm excited, because it'll be fun to dress up like Harley and to act crazy like her and get paid to do so. And since I've gained weight since Halloween, I will fill out my costume more so it'll look even better. Okay, IFJ. Thank you for finding me and tuning in. I always enjoy interacting with new people. Cage fighting is like boxing or wrestling, but it's not faked at all. The two fighters actually fight in a closed cage. If you've seen the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, you see the scene where he's in the wrestling arena with a cage that locks on all sides so that the two opponents can't escape the cage. That's what it is. And basically, I will be posing in my costume with the teammates of a specific cage wrestling team. I will get paid to do it, so I'm excited. Plus, anytime I have reason to put on my Harley getup is a good time for me. I paid a ton of money for all the costume pieces, so you can bet I'm gonna get as much use of it as I can, whenever I can. Amy, what people are you talking about? I'm a little blurry on that. Thank you, Mike. I'm trying not to give up, but it's just really tiring dealing with all this heartache right now. And Jetta, I appreciate that. It means a lot. And IFJ, I do regret some things. I really do. There are some moments spent with him that I wish I could take back. Hell, I wish I could take back the whole relationship. I wish I could go back to the day when I sent him a friend request and just decide to ignore it. But I realized if I had done that, then my brother and his current girlfriend, who I adore to bits, they never would have met otherwise. So that's one good thing to come out of it. But I don't see myself ever being able to love anyone again to the I don't see myself being able to love anyone again as strongly and purely as I loved my ex. I don't feel I could devote myself so deeply to anyone else in fear that they'll disappear too later on. So I'm just trying to get through each day at this point. But Jetta, I do appreciate you sharing your personal story with me. Thank you. I mean, I would love to be loved. I would love to feel the way my ex made me feel when he was good to me. It would be wonderful to feel that again, but I'm too afraid that it will end too. People have a habit of saying they love me, and they want to be near me, and they don't want to ever leave me, but they end up leaving later on. That's how my life has gone. It's an established pattern that I've picked up on, and I don't think my heart could take another loss like that. I was suicidal for a while, and for a while I mean months. I actually attempted it one time, but it failed. I took a bunch of pills that were supposed to relax my heart rate into stopping altogether. But I never even got sleepy. And that's how deeply I was broken when he left. So if I were to devote myself to someone else and have them leave too, I don't think I could survive. So that's why I've decided to just be me. And focus on my family and my friends, who I know love and care for me and who won't leave. As you can tell, this is a pretty sore subject for me. But I figure if being open and honest helps anyone else, even the slightest bit, to feel understood and encouraged to know they're not the only ones, then I'll do it. That was my primary goal of starting my channel. To be open and honest so that others in my shoes or similar shoes would know they're not alone. And so that we could find each other and encourage each other. You guys have been great to me. You've been very helpful. And you've made a great impact in my life. And I thank all of you guys for being here. Yeah, IFJK, it would just be me posing with cage fighters and possibly walking and escorting the fighters to and from the ring. It just depends on what I feel comfortable with. And I'll figure all that out once I get there. I'm just waiting for him to contact me with a time or several different times that would work. So I'm excited. Oh, Amy, the scammers that spoke in Spanish, they never called me back. They took me off of their list because I kept harassing them. Jetta, IFJ, and Mike, thank you. It's just, if any of you guys are big on Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, and you pay attention to the lore about the characters, you know that the elves pick one mate in their whole lifetime. And if something happens to that mate, they stay alone for the rest of their lives. That's what happened to Legolas's father. His wife, Legolas's mom, she died in Dragonfire. And his father never found a different one to be with. And that's the kind of way I love when it comes to romantic love. I pick one. And when all the signs are there that it's gonna work, I will fight like hell to make sure it does. And so for it to have failed makes me struggle with doubting my self-worth. Makes me feel like I was not worth the effort it would have taken for him to take care of me. It makes me feel like my love was not enough to spur him on to greatness. And that's what I had prayed my love for him would do. I've always had an up and down relationship with God. And right now it's down. I just don't understand. I really don't. And I'm just trying to get through each day. And it just kills me to know that he is a ghost haunting my mind. And I probably never catch his anymore. I'm probably not on his mind anymore. Alright, Amanda, I love you. I hope that you feel better soon. We'll have to text later, for sure. But yeah, guys, I mean, everyone I've talked to said it's not me, it was him. It was his choice. And yes, I did make mistakes, but I owned up to them, and I was willing to change them. But he wasn't, and that's why it failed. But part of me still thinks I wasn't enough, and that's why he left. So I'm just really struggling. I think by summer this year it'll be better. Because then it will be over a year since he left. And I heard many people say that it takes either half the amount of time you were with someone or an equal amount of time that you were with someone to get over them. And I was with him for a year and 2 months. So by summer, it'll be over a year and 2 months. So we'll see how I'm doing by then. But it's just really hurtful right now. Thankfully, I haven't had any dreams about him. So that helps. But in the last hour or two, when I'm trying to sleep before I get up, my mind, it wanders over to the last things he said to me. How hurtful and harsh he was in his words, and how he made it crystal clear that he doesn't see us ever getting back together or ever working in the future. And so to have completely lost him, I feel like I'm living with half a heart in my chest. I feel half alive. I just feel hollow. And I see people who are happy together, and it's obvious that both people in the relationship are crazy about each other and are treating each other right. And when I see that, I think, I used to have that. I used to know what that felt like. Why did that get taken away from me? Why can't I have that? And why do they get to have it? But I keep that to myself. Especially when they're couples that I'm close to. I don't say anything to them when their displays of affection are in my face. I keep quiet because I don't want to rain on their happiness. I don't want to be the downer that ruins a moment for them. So it really hurts. And, for example, my brother and his girlfriend. I love them both. And I'm so happy for them both that they have each other, because they seem meant to be. Just like my ex and I seemed meant to be. And I see their happiness. And most of me is grateful to see that. Because I know how long my brother has gone without his first girlfriend, and he broke up in a way that was similar to my breakup, except she was the one that left. And he pined over her for over a year. He believed they were meant to be married and everything. And that was a few years ago. So for him to have Hannah now, I wouldn't wish anything else for him. But when I see how they cuddle on the couch, when I see how tenderly sweet he is to her, and how sweet she is to him, it kills me a little bit. It feels like salt being thrown at my wounds. But I don't say anything because I love them and I don't want to ruin their happiness. And because I've kept it in all this time, it's pouring out now. I feel ridiculous, but I just needed to get this out and know that you guys understand. Yeah, Mike, I will do that. Yeah, Amy, that's a good analogy. It just... He made me feel in a way that I have never felt before. For the first time, I felt true and complete love, and like I was his world. I felt so safe and secure and loved in his arms. And it took a long time for me to get there. It took a long time for me to fully trust him. So that's why it's so hard. It's not in my capacity to do that to anyone. So for him to have done that to me, I just can't make sense of it, even though logically I know why. Thank you, Mike. That's very sweet. In my head, I know why it failed. I know it's because he wasn't ready to be a grown-up. He wasn't ready to do the hard work it would take to make us able to get married. And he wasn't ready to give up the life of living like a high school kid, basically. Logically, I know that's why. But my heart doesn't understand how he could promise all that and take it back in such a cruel way. But everyone tells me he meant it at the time, but he just wasn't truly as prepared as he thought he was. And he didn't fully understand the gravity of what he had promised me, and how serious it was. And when push came to shove, he let it push him in the wrong direction. I'm just tired of crying about it. I really am. I feel weak and pathetic, and I don't like it. But I know the longer I try to fight to hold it in, the harder it'll be for me. And the bigger my breakdowns will be. So when I feel the tears need to come out, I let them out. But I'm just disappointed in myself at how frequently they've had to come out lately. Yeah, Amy, I believe it. Thank you, Mike. You're a good brother to me, and your prayer and support means a lot. I don't understand. Thank you, Amy. I know logically he's not worth this pain. He's not worth me crying and torturing myself over it. But I can't help it. I just don't get it. I really don't. Hopefully by summer it'll be easier. But we'll see. But, I'm just grateful that I have you guys to vent to about this. And that I know you guys care enough to listen and do your best to encourage and comfort me. I mean it when I say the support you guys have shown me has made a huge difference for me. You make it easier to want to keep fighting, even when I'm dead exhausted and I don't want to fight anymore. And right now I'm pretty damn tired. But I'm just trying my hardest today to stay distracted when I can. But, I want to change the subject onto something happier. I've done quite a bit of venting about it, and I think the longer I allow myself to think about it, the more torture I'm just putting upon myself. So I just want to ask you guys how you all are doing and what is going on with you. Excuse me. Oh, I got a Marco from Amanda. I'm gonna watch that really quick.
Rick is there, and so is Mike Angel.
Okay, she sent this last one an hour ago. That was cute. There was a Marco of Amanda coming up with more acronyms for IBS. They were pretty funny. Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate it very much. Jetta, I'm trying my hardest to move on. And I want to smile more often than not, but it's a temporary but fairly deep setback right now. And this time of year just sucks for that. Mike, thank you. That means a lot. Ronaldo, I just feel stupid. I really do. I feel I should have been smarter. But I'm trying to let go of that. Thanks, Jetta. Anytime I drink a bunch of soda really quick, it makes me burp. Another funny food that makes me burp is pears. I don't know why or what it is about pears, but if I eat one, it has the same effect on me as drinking a carbonated soda really quick. It's always been that way, and it's kind of funny. Excuse me. Was that one better? It was pretty funny. A while ago, I went and I saw the latest and the final Resident Evil movie. But first I had In-N-Out for dinner. It was really good. And throughout the movie, I kept burping and tasting the cheese, the meat, and the onion. It was actually pretty enjoyable. Thank you, Lynette. I appreciate that. Heartache is just one of those things that unless you've gone through it, it's very difficult. Alright, Mike, I will. You should get Marco Polo. That's a fun app to send video messages to each other. It's kind of like Snapchat, only the videos don't disappear after you view them. Try to think if there's anything else I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, that's right. I've been so tense lately, even with the injections I got, that I am gonna try doing beginner's yoga at home. I have a, what's the name of it? Let me grab it. I got one of these straps, and it's from Gold's Gym. Hannah bought it for me, and it's got all these handles, and you basically use this to help yourself do stretching. So I'm gonna try it out once I'm feeling better. Thankfully, the injections have worked enough that I don't get the daily headaches anymore, but I still feel kind of crappy. But once that's under control, I'm gonna start trying to be active again to get in shape. I know I may look fine. I may look like I'm fit, but I'm not. My muscle strength is pretty pathetic. So one of my goals is to just get fit, build up my muscle tone, and increase my flexibility in my back, because I have a lot of back problems. And the more flexibility you get in your back, the easier it is to deal with. So that's another goal. Ronaldo, that's funny. Hey Karen, good to see that you're back again. Didn't miss a whole lot. There was something else I wanted to say, but my brain lost it. I really can't think of what it was now. I hate when I lose thoughts like that. It's like I was about to say it, but now it's gone. I'm just mentally not running on all 6 cylinders today. Since I really can't think to save my life right now, I'll just ask you guys to tell me how you're doing. And if you guys have any funny stories of anything that's happened to you lately. Because I'm really feeling brain dead, tired, and I was gonna say something else, but I really can't remember right now, and it's driving me nuts. It's another annoying aspect of dealing with ADHD. Some things we're great at remembering, and other things not so much. It's frustrating. Well, one thing I was going to mention is that I have gotten addicted to Wish. It's pretty fun. I like how inexpensive everything is on there. My only real complaint is how long it takes for shipping. So it drives me nuts. Jetta, I share your sentiment. People in general are just terrible. But there are exceptions, but not enough. Glad you're okay, Amy. Oh, Karen, I miss eating Arby's. I loved their roast beef sandwiches, but I can't have those anymore. And it sucks. But yeah, I'm on Wish a lot. I bought a pack of their essential oils. It came in this pretty little container. The one that's missing is lemon. I took the whole thing and I dumped it into my homemade conditioning spray for my hair. And I ordered some more too, just because I love the variety. Jetta, that's pretty clever. I don't know about you guys, but where I live, it is currently 59 degrees. But inside, it feels a lot colder than that. Even if it's warm in the house, sometimes I will feel like it's freezing. And since I did gain back the weight that I had lost after he left, I still get cold really easy. And it's frustrating. We'll all be sitting in the living room. Everyone will be comfortable, but I will be like, is it just me or is it cold in here? And they're like, it's just you. And so I'm the one to take a bunch of blankets. Mike, I don't know if I actually have a name on here on the Marco Polo app. I forget how to add people on there. I'll have to just get your number from Amanda, and then I can add you that way. Amy, the lemon just makes it smell good. So, I don't know if it really does anything to the health of my hair. Let me show you in comparison. This is how big their essential oil vials are. Not very big. And this is how big my spray conditioning bottles are. I basically dump all of this into this. And I added water and leave-in conditioner, a few drops of olive oil, and this. And I mix it all up. As you can see, it's pretty much a liquid and not a solid. It's not thick, so it doesn't clog up the sprayer. But I just use this for if I'm having a slight bad hair day, but I don't feel like showering or I don't have time. Or if my hair just feels extra dry. It works pretty well. Oh, Jetta, that's cold where you're at. Oh, Karen, that's cold too. Oh, Mike, that sounds delicious. So far today, I had one of these. They're gluten-free. As a kid, I hated the notion of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because it just sounded disgusting to me. I don't know why, I just did. So when all the kids were packing lunches and they would pack peanut butter and jelly, I'd be like, I'll just pack peanut butter and honey or something else. But those bars are actually pretty good. My appetite's kind of on the small side today. So I have so far had one of those. But after I end this stream, I'll try eating more. I am back up to the weight that I was before he left the first time. So I'm pretty happy. It's nice to know that if I get really sick, I won't get deathly thin. And I do like how my clothes fit back to normal again. But, I'm just grateful that I don't need the appetite stimulant to keep my appetite here, even when I'm feeling very depressed. So that is an answer to prayer and a great relief to me. Amy, I can't quite tell what that emoji is. A recipe that I came up with that I really like is mac and cheese with scrambled eggs. I add real cheese to it whenever I make mac and cheese. I can eat a whole box to myself usually. And I'll throw in 2, maybe 3 slices of cheese and melt it in there. And I'll throw in 2 scrambled eggs as well. And it actually was pretty comforting. I did that a while ago. Oh, Amy, I see now. That's funny. But, it's pretty good. Scrambled eggs with mac and cheese, it's good food. I might try making that for my family one of these nights, but I'll throw in some steamed broccoli to it, just so it would be a complete meal. But I'll only do that if I get everyone to say they want to try that, because I would hate to spend an hour or so making a full family dinner only to have them not like it. That would be disappointing to me and frustrating, and a waste of food. Oh, Amy, interesting. I've always loved mac and cheese. That's one of the foods that I can never turn down unless I'm feeling really sick and not up to eating. I wish it would snow here. When I was a kid, I think I was 7 or 8, it snowed once. And here in California, in the part where I live, it never snows because it never gets cold enough. And so the one time it did snow, we were freaking out like, oh, the snow came to us! But the sad part was John and I both had a cold. So we were both sick the one time the snow came to us. So my mom bundled us up in our snow jackets and snow pants and all that. Had us make a little snowman in the backyard. Took a picture and then made us go right back inside. I felt so ripped off as a kid. Because I had wanted to go to the snow for so long. And the one time it comes to us, I'm too sick to enjoy it properly. And the sad thing is the snow didn't even stick for very long. It lasted maybe 6 hours, and then it was all melted away. So it was pretty sad. Disappointing. But maybe it'll snow here again sometime. I don't know. Just depends. Oh, Ronaldo, 80, that's pretty warm. especially this time of year. Alrighty, Mike, I will. And I'll be praying that your move will go smoothly and safely. I've lived in this house, in this room, for 24 years, just about. My family moved when I was like 2.5. And so basically all my life I've lived in this house and in this bedroom. So I have no recollection of the moving process or how frustrating and time-consuming it can be. If I ever get on disability and get in a financial situation where I could live on my own or have a roommate, like one of my good friends here, that would be cool. I just don't know about transporting all my stuff. As you guys can see, my room is not the most organized. I have way too much stuff. But at least for now, I don't have to really worry about that. But I am hoping to clean up my room soon. Just depends on how my health goes. Even though my headaches are mostly gone now, I still get really tense and tight between my neck and shoulders and my shoulder blades, to where I sometimes get actually dizzy just from the tension. That's not fun. But as that gets better, hopefully I'll be able to get more stuff done around here. But we'll see. Oh, Amy, yeah, it's a fun app. It's really convenient if you're running errands or whatnot and you have a quick question to ask someone. Jedi. That's funny. I don't think you're old. You just have more life experience. That's the way I like to look at it. I don't feel like I'm 26. Feels weird. It's like, physically, sometimes I feel like I'm much older. Mentally, sometimes I feel like I'm a lot younger. It's just weird how all that works. But to be 26, it's just odd. It's like, I'm a full grown up. And it's just weird. Amy, that would be pretty cool. I would like to meet Tom Hiddleston and Johnny Depp. They're both pretty amazing. Well, I've been streaming for about an hour and 40 minutes now. I'm pretty tired. My tension is really bad right now. I think I'm gonna crash out on the couch and use my heated back and shoulder massager and just try to de-stress. I do feel better since I got to vent to you guys and have you guys care enough to actually have input on what I said. So thank you for that. Feels like group therapy in a way. But oh, Amy, Tom Hiddleston is the guy that was in both Thor movies and Avengers as Loki, the main bad guy. He is known to be extremely polite and kind. Plus, he's really attractive. You should Google him. He also starred alongside Rachel Weisz in the movie The Deep Blue Sea. But that movie made me cry so much. But, yeah, I'm gonna go rest and try to de-stress. I might run an errand or two, but that's about it. I don't know yet. I'll probably just stay on the couch and have some tea or something. But, thank you again, guys, for always being here. It really really means a lot that you guys care enough to listen to me and talk to me. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you, Karen, and Amy, and Jetta, and Mike, and everyone else who is tuned in and commented in the live chat. Thank you again. I'm going to be signing off. I typed his name in the live chat window, Amy. His name is Tom Hiddleston, and the movie is The Deep Blue Sea. I think it's still on Netflix, but I'm not sure. But it was a good movie. It was just really emotional. Thank you guys again, and I'll keep you guys posted. I don't know when I'll do my next live stream or song cover. It just depends. But I'll keep you guys posted. I love you all, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again for everything.